Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for participating today in our webinar. We have just a wonderful session today. We have our guest speaker, Sachin Patel, with us from Oracle, who will be speaking about some of the advancements with PLM Cloud at Oracle, and our wonderful expert, our guru, Ramesh, will be talking about some of the methodology we have and helping you migrate your Agile PLM to PLM Cloud in 6 easy steps. And thank you, everyone, for joining today. We are InspireXT. You'll get to know us. We're famous by trust and recognized for trust and famous for our execution. And with you today are our three panelists. We'll start with Sachin. If you would please introduce yourself, and then we'll step through this and get right into the webinar.
Thanks a lot, Dave, for having me over to talk about our next-gen PLM Cloud solution. My name is Sachin Patel, Vice President of Product Strategy with Oracle for PLM Cloud and SCMEI. Excited to be here to talk about our next-gen PLM Cloud solution.
Excellent. Thank you, Sachin. I'm Dave Madan, Vice President of Growth at InspireXT. I'm helping customers for the past 25 years reach all kinds of levels of success with their initiatives. And we are a very client-centric type of organization in relentless pursuit for client success. And we're hoping you'll get a lot out of this webinar today, and eventually have an opportunity to engage with us for some of your initiatives in moving to PLM Cloud. Ramesh?
Okay, thank you, Dave. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name is Ramesh Korrapati, part of PLM practice, leading the practice at InspireXT, and I do responsible for end-to-end sales to delivery, and have a vast experience in Agile PLM and PLM Cloud in different industries, spanning across manufacturing, pharma, life sciences, high tech, and retail, and look forward to this exciting journey with all of you.
We have a wonderful lineup here for you. So before we get started with the agenda, just a few notes about housekeeping. We will have a Q&A session at the end, so please do submit your questions via the question mark that's in your browser on the webinar platform here, and we'll certainly get those addressed as we near the end of the webinar. Today we'll be covering some of the migration drivers to move from Agile PLM to Cloud PLM. What are they? And why PLM Cloud? So we'll have a special keynote from Sachin as to why you should consider Oracle PLM Cloud for your product lifecycle management needs. We'll cover some of the key migration considerations as you look to migrate from that legacy platform over to a SaaS platform. And we have a very unique methodology where we've developed some very specific tools for PLM to help you assess your PLM environment, your Agile environment, as well as to help migrate the data from your Agile environment to PLM Cloud. So a very unique IP with InspireXT with those two tools. We'll cover some best practices. And then please stay tuned for the end here. We have a very special offer at the end of the webinar for many of you who are still contemplating your move from Agile to PLM Cloud. And then we'll finish it up with some Q&A. All right, so just a little bit about InspireXT. First and foremost, we are supply chain experts. This is our domain, this is our expertise, and this is what we eat, live, and sleep every single day. We have roughly about 70 satisfied customers since 2019. So we're only a 6-year-old company, but we have a great constituents, a great client base that we've established since 2019. We're coming near nearly 200 members across our global regions, and where we operate in the US, in the UK, the Middle East, India, and Singapore. We're very industry specific. I have a lot of expertise across pharma, manufacturing, distribution, and retail. There's a few other industries that we also do dabble into, but I would say those are our core strengths. And if you had any sort of takeaway from this slide, please know that anything to do with that complete value chain strategy, from new product innovation to demand and supply management, sourcing, manufacturing, operations, logistics, order fulfillment, and customer engagement are areas in which we really dive deep into. And we have a lot of technology capabilities, but I'd like to speak to more so around some of the advisory, the functional capabilities that we have, as well as our technical foundation. So we'll help you with your cloud migration. We have our sourcing, our modernization for your platforms, solutions, our own AI and automation capabilities. Obviously, mobile is a big need for many organizations today, and we do have a validation service for those that are in pharma and some highly regulated industries to help validate your environments. From a partnership perspective, our biggest partner by far is Oracle, but we do have some other partnerships with Salesforce, Snowflake, and InspireXT has their own brand of generative AI called Natural AI, which we embed to provide a connected experience across that entire value chain for our customers. So it's a little bit about InspireXT, and we hope to have you learn a little bit more about us through the rest of the presentation. Okay, so what services do we provide around Agile? And we do have a complete end-to-end service offering. We have a strategy. What are you going to do with your environment? We'll help drive some of that vision and strategy, some of the advisory that you may need to successfully execute on your mission, help you develop a roadmap. Many organizations still are contemplating their move, and they need to produce a business case for their stakeholders and perhaps even their board members. We certainly can assist with that. And there's definitely a lot of advisory around the data governance, as this will become your product record across your value chain. And then when it comes to the implementation, we'll help to reassess any sort of process design, assist you with your data migration planning, and all of the configuration with PLM Cloud. Now, this is a SaaS product, so we like to say it's highly configurable. As you're accustomed to making a lot of customizations in your legacy platform, they may not be necessary in PLM. So from a highly configurable platform, we'll help you extend those capabilities. And for those that are, again, in highly regulated industries, we'll provide a validation service for your software, as well as any sort of infrastructure that's required as part of the solution, and all of the testing services that are required during that implementation, and change management, which is going to be a big component as you look to migrate from Agile to PLM Cloud. And then from an operations perspective, we provide managed services. So once you've landed onto PLM Cloud, you still may need some hand-holding. If that's the case, you can certainly lean on us to keep those environments moving along and have a very good use of your platform. We'll have a release advisory service. So as you know, with PLM Cloud, it's a SaaS solution. So updates and innovation are pushed to you on a quarterly basis. We as an institution will work with you as an organization to help you understand what innovations are coming down the road and how to activate those, ingest those into your platform, and make sure that they're operationalized. Assist you with any sort of configuration management, any sort of test automation. The test automation is going to be a key factor for many institutions. We provide automated regression testing anytime that there's a patch update from Oracle or any sort of a change that you have in your environment, so that you can be rest assured that the system's running as designed. And then we'll provide verification as a service to make sure that you're in compliance with all of the needs, especially for those that are in the regulatory industries. Okay, and here are some migration drivers. So first of all, the PLM Cloud is a next generation platform. It has a lot of embedded capabilities. First and foremost, the AI capabilities are very advanced with the agentic AI, which Sachin will speak to in just a couple minutes here. But you do have that multi-cloud flexibility. So as you're deploying PLM Cloud in the SaaS environment, you may have other assets or data repositories in different clouds, whether they're in your private cloud or in some other cloud platform. So it does allow for multi-cloud flexibility and that sort of enterprise adoption kind of scenarios. And from a data and security and scalability perspective, you'll have all the backups, disaster recovery with no downtime, and it's a very elastic and scalable platform on Oracle Cloud. One of the key primary benefits coming out of this, and Sachin will speak to this in just a couple of minutes again, will be the product digital thread. So you'll have a single enterprise record for your product across the entire value chain that you'll be able to leverage from a product master perspective. And what we're seeing with Oracle Cloud PLM is there's roughly a 35% total, a lower total cost of ownership across the board. And just within some of the implementation elements as well, with our tools, we're able to reduce the cost of implementation by using some of our automated tools. So you'll have a very strong case for your return on investment and lowering your total operational cost by moving to PLM Cloud. And I think everyone might be aware that Agile PLM will be reaching end of premier support in December of 2027. So the time is now to start planning for your move and making sure that you're supported and in compliance with any of your PLM needs as you start to reach those sort of dates. And with that, we'll go to the next slide where Sachin will speak to some of the benefits of why you should look at Oracle PLM Cloud.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for that excellent summary out there. So to begin with, I wanted to kind of emphasize the last point or the one before that Dave made, and how we see PLM's role changing in the enterprise. And as you as customers are looking to step into a digital transformation, and if not some of you, most of you might already be thinking about that, moving to the cloud is one step in that particular process. But the key thing out here is that as you look to design, manufacture, and operate and maintain these products and services, they will require a integrated process into your supply chain and your manufacturing processes. And this is something that traditionally, as we'll see a little bit later in the presentation, has been fragmented. So it's an extremely important, part of your digital transformation and innovation as you look to, bring your company and business, and have a more productive and efficient digital transformation. So that's a key aspect that we would be looking at. So first and foremost, I think in terms of innovation, again, the PLM Cloud solution is built natively on a cloud platform. So the entire tech stack supports cloud natively, starting with the database. So you get the benefit of having some core innovation capabilities such as built-in analytics, and more specifically, of late, since the past year, we focused our investment a lot on AI-driven capabilities. So you have the ability to use generative AI to summarize author content within your PLM system, as well as now with AI agents that I'll go a little bit deeper into later in the presentation. You will have the ability to really automate, your PLM business processes, which were sort of partly manual and required, other non-value added work. So the AI driven capabilities are built into the cloud platform, as well as all of the other innovations that we are adding to the cloud platform. So that's one very good reason that you should look at moving to PLM cloud as you're looking at that digital transformation, because this platform is built for the next generation and for the next 15 to 20 years. The other key aspect out here is the ability to have a environment where you do not need a lot of code development in order to extend or to personalize your PLM application, as well as leverage some of the capabilities within the PLM application. So the PLM cloud platform is a low code, no code environment where you can very easily extend your data model. For example, if you wanted to define your specifications, which you might need based on the different types of products, the ability to then use some native capabilities where some of the PXs that you traditionally did in Agile are now replaced by either an extensibility capability built and integrated within the platform, and or as native features as we keep on extending this particular platform. So this would really allow you to jettison, so to speak, all of that complexity that you have to kind of manage and keep up to date as you evolve your business processes. So that's a huge value proposition as you look at moving into the cloud. And as I mentioned, again, cloud native architecture is a key aspect. It's built on a modern foundation, and Oracle takes care of all of that. And as Dave mentioned and alluded, that really results in a low cost of ownership, right? Total low cost of ownership across the board. We are not having to maintain all of the customizations, as well as complexity that might come along with it. And then lastly, we are also introducing a much modern enhanced experience with our Redwood user interface and experience. This really brings a much more consumer feel, much more visual, and then as we move forward in our AI investment, a conversational approach to manage your current PLM business processes. So having that intuitive interface, and at the same time, we've taken inspiration from our Agile solution and brought together some of those concepts, but have modernized them. For example, having a ability to not only have a single view of a object at a time, but you can have multiple objects, which was something that you had to look at one object at a time in Agile. So again, that enhanced experience is what is something that you can look forward to, and with a much more intuitive interface. Next slide, please. So as we've kind of looked at the next gen experience, as I was talking about the navigator, for example, that same concept has been brought forward again with the ability to have multiple dismissible tabs rather than having a single object in view at the same time. So you can have multiple parts or change workflows that you're working on. And the navigator really speeds up the ability for you to navigate into your saved searches, or have a collection of objects that you refer to, as well as drag and drop information as you're speeding up the definition of your bills of material or change orders. The other key innovation out here is that we've looked at the ability to have a much performant and fast and unified search experience. So you can search for all your PLM objects within a single interface, as well as the ability to have in the future, as we look at more of the AI investment, true semantic search, where you can have a natural language query to the traditional parametric search, which again will bring you relevant parts without you having to explicitly search for them. We also completely redesigned the bill of material interface, where we are bringing in a spreadsheet or a familiar spreadsheet-like interface directly into the browser. And this, we believe, will allow you to not only use it for editing and managing large bills of material, but also to use this for a visual compare, again, with some embedded generative AI capabilities coming in the roadmap. So again, having that core capability to manage large bills of material, but using that efficient user interface to very quickly not only view a single or a multi-level hierarchy, but view all of that rich data across that bill of material in a single interface. And then finally, we have a number of configurable mass update processes where you can mass replace components, you can mass replace attributes, all something that you can configure in a low code, no code environment and restrict it based on the use case or product line and to a community of users. And then lastly, as I was talking about, the PLM Cloud solution again is built on Fusion applications, which natively supports generative AI, and we have been releasing a number of features over the past year since the advent of enterprise applications leveraging generative AI. And then lastly, the use of AI agents to again speed up as well as automate your business processes. Next slide, please. So one of the key things that, as I think Dave mentioned, and I also mentioned in the beginning, is the ability to have a single enterprise product record. And this is extremely important because as you look at your current footprint, you typically have a standalone PLM system, which you then need to integrate with an ERP or a supply chain management system. And that's been traditionally our footprint as well. But as we've come to the cloud, we've completely rethought of this as we see the need for you as customers to have a much more efficient process. And the only way you can do that is by having less duplication, having less fragmentation, and having a very solid foundation where you can share that same product record across not only your product management processes, which are development and commercialization, but also with ERP and supply chain. And this really allows you to have that visibility or have your engineering function have visibility into product defects or any of the use updates or impact that might happen on the engineering side, all in a single system. So extremely important to have this single enterprise product record, and that is what PLM Cloud is built on and provides as an end-to-end process. But having said that, it again is architected in a way that if you do have this ERP and supply chain management system in a different cloud or in a legacy system that you might have, you can still very much have a efficient product management process. Next slide, please. So lastly, the thing I wanted to talk about is AI, and Oracle has been in the forefront, as most of you might already be aware. We've evolved from starting off with embedded generative AI features, and as of the next upcoming release, we will also have the ability to have multi-agent workflows. This is a native AI Agent Studio capability that we've built into the platform, where you can have not only access to your enterprise product data, but also your rich documents and unstructured data, which you can leverage in terms of using agents for anything from a simple research and Q&A kind of an agent to a much more elaborate AI-driven end-to-end workflow. Next slide, please. So this really allows us to introduce this AI Agent Studio, again, a native capability build, so you do not have to build a AI agent framework or extract data into a data lake or in order to have those AI agent capabilities. This is built onto the platform, very easy, again, low code, no code environment for business users as well as business admin or IT admin users to build sophisticated AI agent capabilities. We are releasing a number of pre-built templates and we will continue to do so to automate these processes, but you have the full flexibility of using custom tools or leverage our enterprise business data to provide that additional context to the AI agents for that automation. So I will leave you with this. Again, a lot more to come in the roadmap in terms of innovation, but we already have a very good set of features that we are very excited and looking forward to having you use PLM Cloud to enable that digital transformation. Ramesh?
Okay, thank you, Sachin, for such a great insights. You want to talk about this overview as well?
Yeah, so in terms of our momentum, again, we have over 200 plus customers using PLM Cloud and our product MDM solution, which is again built on the same foundation. And these are some metrics that they've really realize as they've come to the cloud. Some of them, again, are using PLM Cloud as standalone, integrated with a number of ERP systems, including e-business suite, SAP, etc. And some of them have embraced the entire, Oracle Cloud suite. So, for example, they've seen a significant improvement in introducing products faster, again, because they have that integration and that end-to-end process. As well as ending with our top line growth as well. So again, this is just a sampling of some of the metrics that our customers have realized since moving to the cloud. And not mentioning what Dave had alluded to earlier is overall the total lower cost of ownership. For you to manage and get most value out of a PLM application. Over to you, Ramesh.
Okay. Thank you, Sachin. It's very great to see and hear from you the insights, and excited to see the AI agents, how they're solving the operational efficiency problems to the users. Thank you. Okay, well, so as we are talking about Agile to Cloud PLM migration, so there could be many doubts like whether what are things I need to worry about, what all I need to focus on. All that comes into the mind based on our experience, which we do have vast experience in Agile and Cloud PLM and transformation projects as well. We put together some key considerations which everybody should aware of and think about. The first one is data integrity. So it's critical for any business to ensure that you do consider the right data set, what needs to be really moved from Agile to cloud. Identifying that data is crucial, and have the proper strategy about that we'll talk about in upcoming slides. And then the process re-engineering. This is something that it's not just lift and shift kind of a thing. It's something that it's an opportunity to look at how we can improvise the process and look back the process. Maybe system could be very old. We are using Agile for the past 10 to 20 years. It's an opportunity to look back and see how can we optimize the process, and process re-engineering is the key. And wherever we can come out of some customizations, think about how can we re-engineer the process and go with it. And user training and change management, these two are the critical aspects when somebody is moving from Agile to cloud, where you are used to the system very much and you are very happy with that, and it's challenging for people to come out of that comfort zone and understand the new world, and coming into the new world and involving people very early stages in the cloud, and give a taste of it in the early stage and take the feedback. That always helps to make user training and change management easy, and adoption would be very well easy for the people to adopt the cloud. These two are the key aspects. And then the system integration is something that, as we are aware, like if Agile is integrated to multiple systems because it's an independent system, and then it's a product record is spread across, and you, in case if you still want to continue the existing integrations to support your business operations, you need to evaluate all those integrations and how you would manage those. Cloud PLM supports all integrations, and then it has very high capability in using OCI and other platforms to support the integrations. And you can think about that. And then timeline planning, as we all aware that it's about to premium support is about to conclude by December 2027. So that's where we need to plan ahead of the game, and then that's where we all believe that it's the right time to move to cloud, and you would join the journey soon and understand and utilize the advanced capabilities in the cloud, and that would help you to improve the operational efficiencies. And then, as Dave and Sachin mentioned, how the faster time to market and then total cost of ownership, all that would be helpful. So these are the six key migration considerations which we believe that are quite important. And then we'll talk about what are the 6 steps which we are talking about, where we proved that these 6 steps are crucial for any PLM migrations from Agile to Cloud PLM. So the first step is about our tool, which we developed, PLM Insight XT. That is something that it's a unique product we developed, and product development team, Sachin and team, also recognize that it's a unique to InspireXT. And this tool, what it does is mainly to assess your system. And when we run this tool, it assesses your system and what the modules you are using, what's the uses of the system, and the talks about the entire data sets and the size of the magnitude of the work it is going to be to move to the cloud. It scans the entire database and gives the details of it, and that would give you clear picture for you to think about how to go to cloud. And as part of our offering, we are offering helping customers to create a business case based on our insights tool, and that would give you the confidence what's the proposition, value proposition, and how the leadership team can take better decisions to go forward to the cloud. That's about the first step which we do talk about using our insight tool. And the next step is something that we talk about configurations, like where you are using heavy configurations in Agile. As part of our insight tool itself, you would get to know what type of configurations you are using, like how many types of parts you are using, and how many document types, change orders, all that metadata, which would give you the overview of it, and then that would help us to drive, like, okay, in cloud, how it's going to look like, what sort of attributes we are going to use. That kind of information it is going to help using the insight tool. And also, as we are talking about process re-engineering, that is the key, where while we are talking about configurations, how I can ensure that my business process can be re-engineered, and minimizing the customizations. That's where the end goal is. How can we achieve with minimal customizations? And then that's where, wherever we see a gap, that application enhancements would be considered. And then the interface, the reports, which is something that which we do talk about, and we have very good connectors to connect to the different systems that would help. And also, as part of this, the next step is something that after assessing and configuration, the data migration. So that is the key. This is something that we developed a tool called Migrate XT. So this tool is about, it's a seamless data migration. So it extracts the data, depends on your data sets. Like you can define your criteria, what sort of data you want to bring in over, and based on that, we do get the data. And as I mentioned earlier, also it's quite important to understand clear definition of the data, what sort of data you are looking at. So that would help us to define the extraction and transformation and migrating to the cloud. So that is something that what it does is, as part of our experience which we did for other customers, there we noticed that 50% of the data cycles we slightly reduce. So that's something that it's quite encouraging for somebody wanted to move to cloud. Using our PLM Migrate XT, you can reduce slightly 50% of the time on the data conversion in each cycle, in each test cycle. So moving to the next, as I was talking about, it helps to reduce the human intervention as well. Next slide. Next slide is something that where we are talking about data conversion strategy. That is a third step, which I talked about. We will use our tool, and then the testing and validation. That is a fourth step. So this is also quite critical, because you are getting the data from on-premise to cloud, and you are building the process. If you are doing about business process re-engineering, you need to ensure that all are aligned and integrations are aligned, and to ensure that and your source data and target data is validated, considering there are different industries which are validated industries, where you need to ensure that source and target are matching. So we have reconciled reports where talks about the validation of the source and targets, which would help you to ensure that data conversion is successful. And as we all know, data migration from old system to the new system, if you are doing, you need to ensure in an iterative mode. As I said, we need to involve the business team in every data cycle to ensure the quality of the data and it is being migrated correctly. And each test cycle is the opportunity for us to ensure the iterative and incremental data migration and data quality being considered. So then that's about that. And as part of these integrations, you do integration testing and user acceptance testing. These are the placeholders for you to ensure that everything is intact. And user trainings and change management, as I was talking about earlier, the key consideration that is quite important to ensure involving people right in the beginning and take the feedback iteratively and incorporate it and make people to make business users to ensure that they are well versed with the system. Then the deployment and go live, that is the place where you need to have a proper strategy. You have some markup data conversions to ensure that how much time it takes, all that you need to assess and then plan your cutover timeline and all, and go with the production cutover with the proper planning. And then the early life support, that is something that uh, when somebody goes to the new product, so as part of this we do build some kind of user trainings to ensure everybody is aware and they do have quick go-to checklist to ensure that they are well versed with the new product PLM Cloud. And then as part of continuous improvements, that is the place where as Sachin was talking about, there are a lot of enhancements are coming up in terms of AI agents or new features. All those new features would be evaluated and adopted as we go based on how our solution looks like. So these are exciting times, I would say, because by seeing the new user interface and AI capabilities, and which increases the operational efficiency, especially, and that would help users, business team to adopt it very quickly, and it's consumable user interface. It would be loved by everybody. So that's about the 6-step process which we talk about and we follow. And then the best practices, as I was talking, few of them might have covered earlier, but just to give you a quick glimpse of it. So for any cloud migration project from on-prem to cloud, these are the few things which we believe that has to be followed to ensure it's seamless. So clear migration strategy you have to define, that is quite important to ensure that it's your way to path to cloud, and how we are going to transition from Agile to cloud. And fit gap analysis. So we need to accept the facts wherever we see if there are any gaps, how we are going to address those gaps, and how are we going to tweak our business process. As I was talking about the re-engineering business process, it's not just lift and shift. So if you are just doing lift and shift, you would not get so much benefit out of it. It's always adapt to the new technology and new features and new business process. And if you do the re-engineering of the process, that would help you to ensure that it's with minimal customizations, or I mean, I would say enhancements, application enhancements. And you can use advanced capabilities like Groovy. And if you still think that there are some customization which we could not achieve using Groovy, there are excellent REST services can be used to develop your capabilities. And then the data cleaning and governance, that is also something which is quite important. As I was mentioning that unless you are very clear what's the strategy you want to take, how you want to clean the data, and all that we are very much comfortable and did projects there, cleaning of the data and transforming the data with the support of business team. That is to ensure we get the right data set with the deduplication and standardize our naming conventions, so on. It's an opportunity to ensure that your data is there in the right shape, and use the pre-built tools for data migration. That's what I was talking about earlier. Tools, PLM Insight XT and PLM Migrate XT, they are the ones can be used to migrate from Agile to cloud. That's where like it's always safe to use proven tools to move from on-prem to cloud. That would help you to assess that, okay, those tools were already tested, validated, and help you to get it going to the cloud. That's about this one. Then robust integration architecture, that is also quite important. If you're going to any cloud product, any product, integration architecture, we need to ensure that is it a scalable architecture, are my integrations going to be secure, how my architecture going to look like. So all these are quite important to consider. And change management and training, I already talked about so much. So that is also very critical, involving people early and monitor the feedback, adopt, guide them, and show and tell. All these would help people, business users, to ensure that they pick up things at the right time and then give the feedback rightly. And then thorough test cycles we need to establish. That is also quite important to ensure iteratively improving the process, or ensuring the uh, data being validated and migrated from source to target. And proper planning for cutover and go live, ensuring the right set of stakeholders are available, and data migration, having set of mock cutovers to assess the exact timings and going to the cutover. And then hypercare, that's quite important. And again, measuring the success and focus on continuous improvement. How do we measure the success? That's also quite important. We need to consider as part of the transition from Agile to cloud. We need to ensure that what are our measures to consider that this is a successful transition from Agile to cloud. So have those measures and then work towards those and focus on continuous improvements that would ensure that you can clearly see the benefit from on-prem to cloud with those measures. That's these are the best practices which we believe that quite important. And then the client story. So I will talk about one of the customer which we work in a pharma manufacturing company. We uses Agile PLM. They were there with us for the past 5 years, and they're very delighted customers supporting us. And then the way we offer our services in Agile, they're very happy. And it's a validated, as you know, it's a pharma, it's a validated environment, and we do ensure that everything is taken care as per the process. And we ran our accelerators, PLM Insight XT and Migrate XT tools, and we gave the results with their leadership. And initially, they think that, well, our usage is very huge. But after we share our results, they really get the feeling that, no, it's not that much usage. Like, it's not that we thought that it's crazy. So definitely, even you also believe that. Maybe some of you might feel that, well, I am using Agile for the past 20 years. My usage is so much, it's not easy for me to go to cloud. So you give a pause and think about it, and utilize our services to run our tools to understand how the usage is and what's your systems look like. Based on that, it's easy for you to also convince your leadership to move to cloud PLM. And now, as I mentioned, the pharma manufacturer, their supplier can access the cloud PLM without any VPN. It's straightforward, and the time to market is very much improved. And their packaging, print proof, all that is within few clicks they would be able to do. And then one of the key aspects is IT overhead. So as it's a pharma, they had to spend a lot of effort, and their validation process, all that takes a lot of time. And the patching, maintenance of the infrastructure is way high. So with the cloud, it's going to be reduced from 40 to 50%, that IT overhead from them. And also, going to cloud, as Sachin was mentioning earlier, enterprise record. So that where, as a global transformation goal, that customer is going to adopt this as they are adopting this, and it would be part of their global transformation goal to maintain a enterprise single record. That would again help to achieve the long-term goals. So that's about that. And we received very nice feedback from our customer, and these are something that they always make us more delighted by seeing customer being delighted. So seeing something like you are at the top regarding my experience in cooperation with very different vendors for regulated industrial operations, that is something great. So that's how InspireXT as a company, as a one team approach we do follow. And though both client and vendor, two different companies, we always believe as a one team approach and deliver. That's where it's possible to see such kind of feedback. So with that, I will hand it over to Dev.
Thank you, Ramesh. Very insightful around our 6-step methodology and our use of our tools, helping customers migrate from Agile to PLM. Thank you so much for going through that. I'd like to just bring up a couple of regulatory mandates that you may or may not be aware of that will also help you get better use of your PLM solution. The first one is around digital product passport. So digital product passport is a central element of the EU Circular Economy Action Plan. It was originally proposed in March of 2022, and we feel that this is going to become a mandate sometime in 2026 and 2027. But you should maybe consider adopting this sort of practice earlier, because it provides you with a lot of key information about your product. So first of all, the purpose behind DPP is to improve your sustainability, circulatory, and transparency across the life cycle of your products, and making that key product information digitally accessible with all of the key attributes from its origin to its production and where it lands. It facilitates repair, reuse, recycling, and other use cases. And what the envision is to have a unique digital passport, similar to like a QR code, that will have all of the transparency behind that product embedded in the DPP, such as origin of materials and components, environmental footprint, carbon emissions, recyclability and repairability scores, substances of concern, whether they're hazardous chemicals, etc., and instructions for reuse, repair, disassembly, and recycling of those products. Initially, the initial scope for some organizations that will be required to adhere to DPP will be those that are in manufacturers of batteries, textiles, garments, electronics, construction materials, and high-impact consumer goods. And that scope will be expanded across other industries as that starts to take place. So if you have a trading partner in the EU, or if you're in the EU itself, it's time to really consider what the digital product passport is going to bring. A lot of benefits here. It's going to empower consumers with them being able to make sustainable choices. It'll enable circular economy practices so that we can eliminate some of the counterfeiting and the secondhand kind of, I guess, the secondhand drugs that are made in markets that are not approved. And it'll support some of your sustainability goals. So as mentioned, this will be enacted sometime in 2026, 2027, but we're already helping customers embark on this sort of journey. As you could see, Tesco is already embarked on the journey to around digital passport. So if we can go to the next use case, that's going to be around the Drug Supply Chain Security Act, or DSCSA. This is a very important act for all of those that are in life sciences and pharmaceuticals. This is administered by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. And the purpose of this is to track and trace prescription drugs as they're distributed in the United States. And some of the main goals are to, again, prevent counterfeit, stolen materials, contaminated or otherwise harmful drugs, provide that traceability and that transparency, accountability all the way across that drug life cycle. And some of the product requirements will include, some of the requirements around having this traceability will be centered around product tracing, product serialization, verification, licensing, and with authorized trading partners, and interoperability with electronic systems by that was mandated to go into effect by November 27th of 2024. So if you're not fully compliant with this, we encourage you to take a look at this act and how PLM Cloud can help you embrace your compliance and adherence to the DSCSA. And we'll conclude with a couple of things for you to walk away from. One, we've spoke about why you should be considering moving to PLM Cloud from Agile. Here's just a simple table that kind of highlights some of the value drivers that will help you make your decision. So obviously, we're really strong believers in helping you lower your total cost of ownership. Your upgrades this is the last upgrade you'll ever need for PLM. The innovation will be given to you on a quarterly basis, so your application will remain fresh forevermore, and you won't need to worry about doing any future upgrades. It's on a very secure and flexible, scalable architecture with the advanced user experience that has the embedded capabilities, embedded analytics, embedded AI, and the integration is seamless. So if you're already on Oracle, you're already on Fusion, or have plans to be, this is a seamless integration with your ERP, your supply chain, CX, and other cloud services. And your deployment, your time to value will be greatly decreased. So as you're introducing new products into the market, this is really a key accelerator to help you drive that sort of efficiency. And as mentioned already, built-in agentic AI designed to support machine learning, IoT, digital twins, and that single digital thread across your entire product record across the value chain. So just some really excellent reasons to look to move to PLM Cloud from Agile. I think the pace of innovation is another key driver. The PLM Cloud will far exceed the Agile environment in a very short time, and that innovation cycle will continue with Oracle as you continue to leverage the platform. And we'd like to make this offer for this audience. So Ramesh has spoke very passionately about our tools, PLM Insight, as well as our Migrate tool. We'll love to offer that step one of our 6-step methodology for you, where we'll do a complete assessment using our PLM Insight tool with a very strong output from a deliverable perspective. This is going to be at no cost, no obligation to you. We estimate it takes around 2 to 3 weeks to deliver. If this was a manual kind of thing, that would be at least double that time frame. So this tool really does help to accelerate the implementation, as well as the first step of the assessment. Roughly a $30,000 value. Do connect with us. There's some certain restrictions that do apply here, but we're offering this as a first step of helping you move from Agile to PLM by assessing your current environment and giving you all the considerations you need to be successful on your journey. And then with that, I'd like to thank Sachin so much for joining us today. A very wonderful insights here across the board. Our contact information is listed here, so if you'd like to take a screenshot, please do so, and feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to engage, walk you through some of our methodologies. And again, if you'd like to take us up on our offer to leverage PLM Insights, that would be fantastic. And then here's some very helpful links for you, where we have provided some additional assets, some white papers that were written by Ramesh, and why you should migrate, why Agile to PLM now, and some of our offerings, and then Oracle product management tours. So right here, you can simply click on there, and you'll be able to walk through what Oracle has to offer from their information for moving to PLM Cloud. So with that. Nikhil or Nilam, would you like to please let us know some of the questions that the audience has proposed for us? And we'd love to open this up for Q&A.
Sure, Dave. The first question is, what's the typical timeline to migrate from Agile to PLM Cloud?
Ramesh, would you like to take that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Typically, it depends on how your data and how your system looks like. The typical timeline looks around 6 months to 1 year. That's what the typical timeline I would say from Agile to Cloud.
There's a lot of planning that goes into that component as well. If you haven't embarked on the journey yet, developing a business case is going to take some time, and we want to make sure that the organization is prepared to embark on the journey. So they'll want all of the key insights and attributes of what this is going to be, how this is going to be considered. So definitely, I think Ramesh's point is spot on from that perspective, and we can certainly look to compress that timeline. Our tools help to do that, but at the same time, we want to deliver this at a pace in which you will be able to easily absorb the change that's going to be coming to your organization. So we'll help you pace it out at an interval in which you can also sustain your business without adding too much pressure to your organization.
Thank you, Dave.
We have another question, Nikhil.
Dave, there's another question, and this is a scenario based. What if we have a lot of customization within the Agile PLM? How to migrate to Fusion PLM in this case?
Okay, so Sachin, you want to take?
Yeah, I can address part of it, and then Ramesh do jump in. But yes, I think in terms of your customizations, again, there is a ability for you to extend and customize in a low-code, no-code environment. So we have the ability for you to manage those customizations. But for the large part, again, some of those customizations have already been incorporated into the standard product, right? So, for example, if you have the ability or the need to or customizations around security, we do provide a criteria and granular based security model. Again, as I mentioned, in our next gen PLM solution that allows you to manage that granular security, right? So you should be able to move those either in the product or extend our product in order to satisfy that. We would, again, this is where I think InspireXT can help you understand what customizations are supported natively in the applications, as well as how those could be extended. But there are equivalent capabilities in the PLM Cloud to be able to migrate those customizations. But we need to look at specific customizations to see if those are covered or would be migrated through that extensibility capability.
Yeah, the industry-specific customization requirement, as Sachin rightly mentioned, are already covered in the product, like your BOM component replacement or security, so on. So if there is anything specific to you, need to look at, and then there are services available, but the clear direction is low-code, no-code platform. So if beyond that, if something is needed, to look at that. Okay.
We have some other questions, but we are run out of time for our presentation. And what we'll do with those other questions that were submitted, we will address those directly with you. We'll also share our presentation deck along with the recording for everyone that has attended here. So we'd like to thank you very much for spending this last hour with us. We know it's a very valuable time. And we'd like to conclude here by, again, saying thank you. And we look forward to working with you and collaborating with you on your future prospects here.
Thank you.
Thank you.